It doesn't have to be big. It just has to begin. The spark feels small today, the fire's quiet low. The to-do list staring back, but I'm moving slow. No thunder in my chest, no lightning in my hands, but I don't need a storm to take a stand. One breath, one step, one honest try. That's enough, that's why. Tiny moves still count, even on the days I doubt. I don't need to feel on fire to move the needle higher. Tiny moves still count. I show up, I turn around. I don't wait for perfect sound. Tiny moves still count. Some days are quiet wins, no confetti fall. Just me and discipline, answering the call. No rush, no racing clock, no proving who I am. I build it brick by brick because I can. One task, one post, one brave sin. The momentum grows when I begin. Tiny moves still count, even when I'm worn out. I don't need adrenaline to know I'm gonna win. Tiny moves still count. I don't spiral, I don't shout. I anchor in the ground. Tiny moves still count. Small is powerful, slow is powerful, steady is powerful. I am powerful. Small is powerful, slow is powerful, steady is powerful. I am powerful. Tiny moves still count. Tiny moves still count. Tiny moves still count. Tiny moves still count. That's what this is about. I don't chase, I don't announce. Tiny moves still count. You don't need to feel ready. You just knew count. Tiny moves still count.
Hello. Which camera? Okay. I was like, which camera am I looking at? Welcome to today's workshop. I'm coming to you, messy hair bun. I got my Fat Mermaid shirt on. 2 p.m. here in Hawaii, and I am drinking coffee and about to teach you guys all the things AI. If you're joining for the first time, my name is Anacani Walters, and we are doing a free workshop today. It's AI 101 for pretty much my heart-led women entrepreneurs, beginners. If you're military connected, I love me some military connected entrepreneurs. And we are streaming both inside my Facebook community as well as here in YouTube. So now I am a certified AI strategist. I'm an AI coach, but I am also a women wellness entrepreneur. I'm a nurse turned entrepreneur. And what I've been noticing is that AI is just moving so crazy fast. So many things are happening. Everybody's trying to keep up with each other. And there's some things that I think that need to be said out loud. There are things that people might not be aware of. And there's also things that I want to make sure I'm putting out there because I don't want you guys to get left behind. AI is moving at the speed of AI, and it is for reals. I am in the rooms. I am going to these trainings and summits, and I'm learning all the things. Now, my mind is special. I'm like a Ferrari. I can keep up with this stuff, but the majority of the people that I am trying to help cannot. And it's getting overwhelming, and you're like burning literally from both edges, from just being overwhelmed because you haven't actually started to use AI. So you're doing everything manually. And we already know that there's a lot of burnout wellness entrepreneurs out there. And then you're getting burnt out from trying to keep up and learning all the things. So today we are going to just kind of start you off a little oh, how should I say that? A little easier, I guess is the best way. So I'm going to try to keep track of comments and stuff that are coming through in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, I suggest you get in there because that's where all the magic's going to be. So I'm going to drop, here's your workbook. Now, I love me some coloring books. And I just dropped it in the chat in the Facebook group. Again, if you're watching this inside of YouTube, I suggest there's a link in the show notes or in the bottom description of the thing. Go ahead and join. I'll try to keep up with requests. I'm going to get my thing. Hold on. Let me get me into my Facebook group on my business so I can actually let you guys in if for some reason y'all decide to join in last minute. Oh, look, I got one. Oh, yeah. Ken, I got you. Sorry. I didn't see he requested it. So let me just show you real quick what we got going on. Oh, so here we go. This is what I just dropped in the chat. It's basically a workbook. I love me some coloring books. And what I do know is that sometimes for a lot of my clients, they want to take notes because they're note takers. They want to journal their thoughts and things like that. But they're also trying to listen. And a lot of you guys are not multitaskers. I realize that. So this is also a taste. I'm gonna, with your all's permission, if you guys at the end want to learn how you can learn more from me, I'm going to give you an opportunity to join me pretty much almost every week except for April because I got a lot of things going on in April. But it's going to be same time Sundays here in the Facebook group. I'm going to be going live for other things. But today it's basically just going to be AI 101. I need y'all to stop being afraid of the robot. And we're going to talk about all the stuff and why it's important that you guys are part of the process. So it basically takes you through the whole thing. It's a nice little coloring book if you like to color. There's places where you guys can use, you know, journaling notes, anything that you want to like write. And then it pretty much is going to like really cute go over all the stuff that we're going to talk about. Okay. So that's where we are with that. I'm going to jump into our slides for today because we got a lot to go over. And I'm for reals only going to be here for an hour because I already promised my 4-year-old that I would take him to the beach or the park, depending on where he's at. Let me get to the front. Now, not gonna lie, I was putting this workshop together last minute, but that is the power of using AI too. I drink with my left hand so you guys can see. 'Tis the season to sparkle. Okay. All right, let's jump into it. I'm like, how am I gonna tell if anybody comments? I don't think. Oh, I gotta make this screen bigger. Hold on, y'all. I just gotta make sure that if you guys are asking me questions, I actually like respond. I don't want to be rude, but I'm trying to minimize it so I can see what I need to see. Okay, I think I can see the comments here. All right, so let me screen share. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so I know it says Claude 101, stop being afraid of AI. This is more of just AI 101, okay? We are going to really go more deep into Claude because I really believe that it is so much better than OpenAI or ChatGPT, as some of you guys might be using. And we're going to talk about all of those things. And from that perspective, let's go on, shall we? All right. So if you have been watching this huge AI wave from the shore, you've been just kind of, you're there at the beach day, it's a beautiful day, the water looks gorgeous, but you just are not coming in. I realize that this workshop is for you. You do not need any type of tech skills. This is going to be very beginner friendly. And I am really on a mission. My mission is to talk to the women and the military entrepreneurs who are literally getting left out of the conversation. And I am talking to my yoga teachers, my doulas, my military spouses who are, doing their own business stuff, coaches, healers, multi-passionate entrepreneurs, neurodivergents who literally just can't learn for one or two reasons. One, it's going too fast and you just can't keep up with the language that they are using. Two, there's just they're talking in a language that you don't connect with. A lot of bro marketers, they're like yelling in your face. Mm, and you don't work that way. So I get it. And that's why I am here, because I want to make sure that we are part of the wave. We need to be part of this movement. I've talked about it a lot, especially on my podcast, that women are underserved just in general for everything, including AI, you guys. And it's because we are not participating. We are not being part of the process. Now, if you're one of those that are really like, oh, I don't want to be part of AI because it's scary and it's messing up the environment, you need to get over yourself, because it's not going anywhere. And guess what is happening while you are sitting on the sidelines, with your own little reasons, is that women are being portrayed like we have been, as sex objects with big boobs and big booties and small waist. And it's happening again in the AI space. Men are primarily the users. Men are primarily the developers. Men who are using it, guess what? They are teaching AI. AI is learning from us. And so we need to be part of the solution, and we need to teach AI what real women really stand for, what we really look like, what are, how we are in real life, the super women, superhumans that we basically are, the glue to the houses, the strength behind, our spouses, all of that stuff. Most people who are not using AI fear because AI is going to erase your voice, or you're not tech savvy enough, it feels soulless, you're already behind, why should you even bother? Okay, those are not good enough reasons at this point. AI is moving super fast, and by you, there's still time right now for you to get on board, and you really need to take this time to find out where you can use AI. You're probably using AI whether you like it or not. AI is like, you guys, did you not see AI is in the White House? They showed a picture of the first lady walking with a robot inside the White House. I mean, it's in if you order Amazon, it's in Amazon. If you are an Alexa user, it's in Alexa. When you use Google, when you use Netflix, all of those things. I mean, if you're like seriously saying, no, I don't use AI and I'm not going to, you're basically an ostrich right now, with your head in the sand. Um, and so I want to take you on this beautiful journey to really get you to understand it's just understanding the landscape. And then we're going to give you some tools that I think you should know about. And I really want to talk to you about Claude. We're going to talk about why Claude is the latest and greatest. And then I'm going to teach you how to talk to your AI tools. And then I'm going to give you some live demos. Yes, this is going incredibly fast. Yes, I have a special gift for you if you're really like, oh my gosh, Anacani, I thought you were talking to me slow. I do, and I will, but we have a lot to go over today, and this replay will stay up on YouTube. It's going to stay up here. You guys, if you want the resources and you're watching on YouTube, you're going to need to come into my Facebook group. There's a workbook I already showed you. You can color in there, you can sit there, you can marinate it, you can watch this again, do what you need to do, okay? But today's a full day. So, there are a lot of tools. I realize that. And my job is to make sure that, yes, I cloak you with a possibility scarf of all the stuff that's out there. And it's beautiful and it's amazing and it's really fun to, like, especially if you're in the AI space, to play with some of it. But it comes at a cost of time. It comes at a cost because you have to learn. Not all of them are exactly the same. There's nuances to specific ones, and I realize that some of you may get overwhelmed with the simple idea of like, well, which one should I use? So, um, Here's the thing. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of them. I've used all of these. Now, I personally, I'm going to talk about it now. Let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. I'm stepping away from ChatGPT and OpenAI. If you didn't hear about it, I normally don't talk about politics, but the big thing, if you haven't, like you may be like, Anacani, I don't even know what you're talking about. And that is okay. If you have, then you already know what I'm about to say. So, not that long ago, there was a huge influx from ChatGPT users leaving ChatGPT and basically OpenAI, which is the bigger umbrella brand, and moving their stuff to Claude. They were basically dumping ChatGPT and moving to Claude. Now, here's the things in the background. I'm leaving not just because Claude is amazing in its capabilities and it's surpassing anything that OpenAI can do right now, but I'm leaving also on some moral grounds. The bigger story is that Anthropic is who owns Claude. They're like the bigger umbrella, okay? They had a contract with the government for like national security and stuff. The government asked them to basically have free range to basically use the language model to surveillance us. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. So they lost the contract, and OpenAI decided that they would agree to the terms. They also invested, I think, 25 like million dollars to MAGA. Okay. And when people heard about that, they were like, no. So Anthropic stood up for us and was like, we're not going to let you use our language model and AI to like spy on people and do all this other crazy stuff that you're trying to get us to agree up. OpenAI was like, yep. They invested in the administration campaign, and then they got the contract. So there's a lot of other changes that OpenAI is coming out with that I am not in agreement with. They go against my values and my morals. So I am intentionally moving my stuff to Claude for multiple reasons, but I want to make sure that you understand there's a lot that's going on the back end. And this might bring up some feelings of fear. And put your hand on your chest. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes, in through your nose, bring it into the belly first. Ribs, chest, shoulders up, back, down. Do it again. Take a deep breath in and a slow exhale. I know that this brings up fear, but the reality is that if you're on the internet, your stuff is already out there. I would rather be involved in a business essentially that honors people, like people, human first AI. And that's what I believe Anthropic stands for, which is why I am 1000% on board with Claude. So I'm moving slowly things from ChatGPT over to Claude until I can pretty much let go of ChatGPT altogether. I feel like because there's so many different language models, it's really important that you guys, from not just um, money and like resource standpoint, be careful with which ones you're paying attention to or which ones you're diving into, because a lot of people are popping up with new AI software and stuff, and you really need to be careful just not jumping on someone's wagon without validating, without making sure that it's a real company, because companies are popping up super fast. And guess what? They're also leaving because these are not actual developers. They're people who are just using AI to create these businesses until they can't, and then they get closed down. So I'm only going to be giving you ones that I think that you should be paying attention to. I am speaking to the person who has maybe never touched a language model, has barely started conversating with ChatGPT, because that was what everybody was using up until a few weeks ago. I like to think of it as like feeling like we're in a relationship. We started dating a language model, and then a new one comes out or their features are better. And it's this disservice internally, because you're like, Okay, I feel like I'm cheating. I'm moving over and I'm having like another relationship. Well, I just started one, and it feels like, not good inside, because that's what it feels like. So I am going to introduce you to one of my favorite all-in-one language models. It's called Magi. And the reason that I call it is because love it is because I feel like it's like speed dating for the same price that you would pretty much get with a paid subscription to either ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, Perplexity, Manus AI. You could get it with Magi. You can get access to all the language models, all the image models, all the video modules or models, sorry, in one software. And that way you can really start to experiment, because not everybody's preferences is going to be the same. A lot of people didn't like Claude for certain reasons, and we're going to go over that. But then you change your mindset and you're like, okay. Um, Gemini, everybody's starting to catch up, and it's really a matter of like, what do you need to use AI for to decide then which one you actually want to invest in? Okay. So, sorry, I had to kind of go on that rant, but it's important for you guys to know. So I just talked to you guys about Magi. It is literally like speed dating. You can literally start a chat and ask every single model out there the same prompt in one chat, just to see the difference, so that you can start to figure out for yourself which one you like. So if you haven't started, you're on a free plan for pretty much everything, and you really want to try some of these other language models, but you're like, I don't have a lot of money, Anacani, or I don't want to learn how to use all this stuff and then set it up and all this stuff, Magi is your best friend right now. Now, ChatGPT is the famous one. It is the one that everybody was going to use. Thousands of people were using it for free. It was quick for tasks. It gave you answers super fast. It had like a GPT store. You could do all kinds of stuff. You would see a lot of trending things. But again, we just talked about all the changes that they've decided to make. They've lost like millions of people subscribing to them, who have literally jumped to Claude, not even just because they're not a good language model, but just from a moral standpoint. Okay. Then you have Gemini. Guess what? If you have google.com, whatever, you have Gemini. It is the best thing ever. And it is getting so much, it's growing just like everything else. It If you have Google Workspace, you get it integrated with a lot of other stuff. Y'all, you can make AI videos, you can make really good images, you can customize it just like you could do custom GPTs if you know what that is. And now you can even create music inside of Gemini. It is 100% free if you have a Gmail account. You can consider it kind of like your intermediate between some of the other ones. And then you have Claude. Claude is a deep thinker. It was mostly used for writing, organizing, building documents, and so for higher level AI users. But now it is becoming our daily like driver within this AI space. And I say that because the difference between why people were choosing ChatGPT and Claude, like on a basic level, is because ChatGPT used to give us the answers like crazy quick, and Claude used to take a little bit longer, and people were impatient and would get really upset about it. Now, here's the thing: because Claude is built as a deeper thinker, it takes longer to respond because it is taking that time to actually think, look at its skills, and give you the best possible answer. And people were just being impatient about it. And the results were 1,000% better than ChatGPT, but nobody cared about the output, so to speak. They cared about the speed. And so here we are. Now, Perplexity is really good at researching. However, there's a thing called Perplexity Computer that a lot of people in the AI space are like going crazy over. I don't disagree that it is completely amazing. The abilities are like fantastic, but it is $200 a month. Now, word on the street is that might be something they're going to extend to like the lower tiers or the free Perplexity users, but I'm going to just kind of wait to see what happens. Now, again, if you're completely new to AI, you haven't even started with ChatGPT, I 100% recommend Magi. Now, I'm not, I do get, I'm going to give you guys an affiliate. I'm not going to lie. Like, if you love me, you want to buy me a cup of coffee, literally, I get like maybe $4 per person a month who signs up using my thing. But I use Magi almost every week. And again, think of it like speed dating. It's the same price basically as any of the paid language models. We're going to take a look at the inside, but it's all everything out there on the market down in one. Now, I actually know, just coming back to Magi, I actually know um the founder and the actual tech person that built Magi, Dustin, and he's an amazing man. Like, he's a family man. I've been on trainings with him. My coach Molly brought him in as his guest speaker. Like, it is a down to earth developer, and his main reason for building out Magi was to keep the entrepreneur in mind. Like, he realized that all this stuff was moving super fast. People were um using AI for a lot more. There was more language models, more things coming out. People were, monetizing AI like it's nobody's business. And what happened is that us small entrepreneurs were literally getting left with like the bill. And so he built this platform so that we could have all of the language models to figure out what would be the best for us so that we weren't spending like a lot of money that a lot of us I know don't have. Just to figure out, like, is it going to be something that we can, maintain, afford, use kind of situation. Okay. So I just dropped the link to Magi. If it's something that you're interested in, I'm going to be doing more trainings, giving you guys more resources for it. Cause again, I think it's amazing. Now, hopping from language model to language model is dangerous unless you're in the AI space and you're teaching it like me. You really want to try to find one that is going to give you the best results for what you need. Now, for those of you who still want to stick to OpenAI ChatGPT, I'm not saying that you need to leave it. I'm just giving you the facts, and then you're grown people. You can make that decision for yourself. But you don't want to get into the trap of downloading every single app because you're probably only going to use it once and you're going to get frustrated because you're not going to set it up properly and then you're just going to give up. If I had to start over and just start with one language model, I would start with Claude. It's super good. It's super intuitive once you kind of understand the layout, or Magi, and then you can play with yourself. It has the same ability, but that way you're saving yourself hours and a headache of trying to like learn every single one's dashboard. And that's where I think people are getting confused. I need you to listen to me. There are moments in your entrepreneurial space where I 1000% encourage you to cloak yourself with your possibility scarf on, rub the fabric between your fingers, feel like that comfort when you get like anxious or scared, and just keep your mind open. But there's times when I need you to take that possibility scarf off, crown yourself with your decision crown, and make some decisions with your big girl panties. Okay. So this is one of them as we continue to go through. I need you to start journaling, writing down, thinking about, that one looks pretty cool, or that one I can totally like, those are the things that I need to be doing in my business or my life, or it just feels I naturally gravitate. Like, I like the way it looks, I like the way it, it's flowing, anything to get yourself to make a decision. Maximum two, if you really want to do it. Claude, ChatGPT, I think Perplexity, and Gemini all have free plans. So technically, you could go in there and not spend money. But it takes time to build a relationship. You cannot, I mean, there are some people that go on a date and be like, hey, marry me. I love you. But language models aren't really like that. And especially if you're using it as a business owner, it is literally no different than going out on the street, pulling somebody from the street and saying, hey, can you write an email for me? It's going to be shit in, shit out. If you are not giving your language model no kind of reference of who you are, what you do, who you serve, and how you serve them, guess what? it is going to be shitty. You're going to have a shitty experience. You're not going to like what it's going to say. It's not going to sound like you. It's all the things that you are like having as objections for why you're not being part of this wave of AI. It's going to resonate because why? You're not doing your part. You cannot cheat your way out of there. There's certain processes, things that you have to take responsibility for, just like running your own business. Okay. Um, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm yelling at you, but I think I shouldn't have had a second cup of coffee. And I'm running out of time, so I want to keep going. All right. So again, Claude is our driver in moving forward. I'm going to be talking to you a lot about Claude. It is a little bit more, it's very different from ChatGPT, but I'm building an entire series around it because that's how powerful it is. The things that I've been able to do, you guys, wait till you see some of the stuff that I've been doing. Now, there's different names for the same concepts. Okay, so we'll start with ChatGPT because most people might be familiar with it. Now, ChatGPT has something called custom GPTs. Think of them as like specialized AI employees that they have in their software. So when I say language model, the language model is basically ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Magi. It is the actual platform that we're using. Okay, these core concepts, they're employees. Let's think of them as AI employees. Now, you'll hear AI agents. We're using AI employees because these custom GPTs, we're starting with custom GPTs on the right upper hand corner. They are specific. They're usually given a set of skills. They're specialized in one thing. And it keeps you from having to repeat multiple times the same prompt over and over and over, or explaining yourself over and over and over. It basically removed that from your workflow. Now, the same thing exists in Claude. For Claude, Claude calls them, they're not called projects. Projects is actually the same across ChatGPT and Claude. I need to fix that. My apologies. Claude's actually are called skills. Gemini are called gems, and Magi's are called personas. It does not matter which tool you use, the concept is the same. We want to get better at creating these core employees because that is going to be how you save hours per week. It is a skill that is very new, but people are starting to catch up on it. And I want to make sure that you guys don't get left behind. Now, if you are completely new to prompting, prompting is basically how you talk to a language model. And we just talked about what a language model is. It's any platform that you're using to talk to AI. There's a simple recipe. A lot of other people are out there going to tell you, oh, this is how exactly you need to do it. Look, at the end of the day, you really just need to have 4 things inside of whatever you're asking. Now, there are people that can be like, yeah, I only gave it like literally 4 words and it gave me this beautiful thing. I call bullshit because most of the time that doesn't work unless you've really customized the back end. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in a minute in your settings. So, when you start talking to a language model, it needs to know who you are because some people use it for multiple people. Like, I wear several hats. I'm a mom of a 4-year-old, soon to be. He's going to be 4 in 2 weeks. Okay. I'm also a stand up paddleboard instructor. I'm also a yoga instructor. I'm also an AI coach. I'm also a military spouse. I'm also a spouse, like a wife. Um, which one of those am I acting as when I want to talk to AI? Because whichever hat I'm putting on is the one that I want AI to be aware of so that it can actually help me. Okay. What do you need? You need to be specific. Like if I just say, can you build me a website? Isn't like, okay, sure. I can get a website to like a pizza place. Like, that's not what I wanted. Hello. AI is not a mind reader. You need to give it some more context. If you would not do it to a human being, please do not do it to AI. AI is very smart. It is a genius in all like definitions, but it does not really know who you are yet. You need to give it context until you build that reputation, you build those skills, or you build out those settings. So tell it what you want it to do. I want you to build, you know, I need you to build me a highly converting sales page for my new, workshop about teaching people how to use AI for beginners as my Empower Her Way business. Way different, okay? Give your tone at least 3 words. How do you want it to sound? How do you sound? And I'm going to show you a really quick, simple thing that you can 1000% do. It takes like 10 minutes and it will game change how it copywrites for you. And then what to avoid. Most people underuse this step and it will give you all the things that you hate, and then you're going to get frustrated. And if you're like, I cannot, guess what? If you can text a friend, you can totally talk to AI and you can talk to Claude. Because I know with Claude, it's a little bit more sophisticated than what we're used to in ChatGPT for certain things, but it's just because it's different. It is not any harder. Okay. Now, AI can work for your home and it can work for your business to make you income. You can literally, simple thing like a fridge prompt, you guys. You can literally, how many of us have like left the house in a rush and in the middle of the day think, oh, shoot, I need to make something for dinner. I have no idea what I have in my refrigerator. I know I need to go to the grocery store, and you go grocery store shopping, and then you're like me. I am infamous for it. I am not allowed to go grocery shopping when I'm hungry, because what happens is that I am so hungry, I will buy like 20 things, leave out the grocery store with like $200 worth of grocery store, and I can't make shit with any of the stuff that I bought because I'm like so hungry and unfocused. It's just, it's not there. What if I told you, but like, while you're rushing and getting your creamer for your coffee and yelling at the kids to hurry up and put their shoes on, you take your phone, take a quick screenshot. Hopefully, sorry, that didn't mess up the audio of your freezer, your refrigerator, and your pantry. And you guys go out the door. And while you're sitting there at your lunch break or standing there waiting for the kids to get out of school in the pickup line, and you're like, I gotta make dinner. And you're like, oh, I took those pictures and you uploaded them into AI and then asked AI, this is what I got. I need you to help me create a dinner recipe, like a dinner plan for tonight. Tell me what I need to go to the grocery store. I can do it on my way home, but maybe I already have all the stuff that I need for something cool that my family can, wants to eat. Maybe you're vegetarian and you're in a blended, dietary family. You're vegan, everybody else eats everything, or you're like me and have a husband who's allergic to vegetables, or you have a 4-year-old who's a picky eater and only eats basically ketchup. Um, that's not mine, but I know that I know somebody who that was their toddler, so I think that's like, oh, thank goodness that did not hit me. But if this did, this is a prime example. Help me make a quick meal using only what I have. Add any family details, allergies, how many people, what's the age, does anybody have any, like, you have any picky eaters? And then it gives you your entire thing. It can even give you your grocery list, put it in your keeps so that you can sit there and check box that thing while you're in the grocery store. It's fantastic. Let me check on the comments, make sure I'm not missing anybody. I don't think so. All right, so for your business, look at same kind of concept. You're a copywriter for Fat Mermaids. I help women over the age of 35 achieve confidence on the water. My tone is fearless, sassy, and mermaid inspired. Write me my whole week of social media content, one for Instagram, 2 for Facebook, 1 for LinkedIn, and a YouTube video that I can create. Do not use any body shaming, Language, I hate. You're not um oh, there's a common thing that everybody says that I freaking hate. But and then I like I don't use this, don't use this, don't use this. Now, I will say little caveat to that is that it's kind of like an elephant in the room. Do not tell it not to do certain things, because what happens when I tell you, "Hey, I want you to come into my house, but do not look at my refrigerator when you come into the house." The first thing that you're going to want to do is look at my refrigerator, because I already like said it out loud and now it's in your foremind. Prime example, let me just show you really quick. Don't look at the heart behind me. You're like, which heart is she talking about? The big ass heart that's behind here of all the wine that I've ever drank in my life. Just plain. Those are really wine corks. And yes, I did make that for myself, but now I'm like, don't look at it. Hey, look at me. Don't look at it. You're going to be like, I can't. It's like there right behind you, and I can't focus on you because I put it out there. If I told you, don't look at that, look at the Frida picture that I made that's freaking gorgeous. It like, oh, okay. I have a much better way of getting you to actually look at something else than they're like, just don't look at that. Because you're like, I can't. You already pointed it out and I cannot not unsee it. Same thing with AI. When you're asking it to not do something, make sure that you reinforce with do this instead. Okay. If you can. All right, so we're gonna go into live demos. I'm gonna show you behind the scenes, things that I want you to kind of just pay attention to and observe. What surprises, are you experiencing? Are you feeling aha moments? What could you use for your business? Okay, start jotting those down. And then what prompt do you want to steal? And that was it. So, really quick, those two people watching, I don't know if I can tell which two people you all are. But if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, hello, 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 hello. All right, so we're gonna start with the one and only ChatGPT, just because it's the one that's the most well known. I've already given you the caveat. I'm stepping away from ChatGPT sooner rather than later. And if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about or why I would do that, just make sure that you watch the replay. And I hear my little man coming. I need to move my face, you guys, because you see OpenAI, my little face down there. Okay, so this is ChatGPT. Very basic. There's not much that you need to know. Now, my sidebar is closed. You just click here. As soon as I hover, it will open up my chat. Now, there's a lot of stuff here. This is where you can start a new chat. This is where you can search your chat. So if you're like, gosh, what conversation did I have with ChatGPT where I talked about, like, I don't know, my period or whatever, or I talked about my launch campaign for such and such workshop. I'm like, gosh, I don't remember. I didn't rename it. Dang it. That's where it is. Now, ChatGPT has been known for its image generation. It improved with DALL-E. Well, guess what? Gemini has Nano Banana. I will say it did pretty good, but it's kind of, getting everybody else is getting better. Um, I made these. I played with creating carousels. It's just not 1,000% like on the spot. As you can see, there's differences in some, even when I try to put like, leave my face alone, do not change any of my facial features, keep it 100% intact, don't change my hair, don't change my skin, just change like the wording. Now, it did exceptionally well with creating mock-ups, specifically with words. Early on, AI did not do very great. It did great with images, but it didn't do great with giving us actual images with words. The words would kind of be like all jumbled and stuff. So it was a give and take, like most things. It cannot soon. ChatGPT and all the other language models are going to be good enough to do all, have their cake and eat it too. But like I said, a lot of them are specialized in one thing, and so some things suffer in those instances. But all of this is all AI image generation. This is a YouTube um, celebration. There's other things that I've made here, cartoons. This was a mock-up to a website that I gave it. I just gave it the website information and it built it on its own. Like, it's been pretty cool, but if you're like, gosh, I made something and I don't know where it is, that's where it would be. The library is where you would have like all your screenshots. That's actually a new thing. I've never really looked at that, but that's pretty cool. Um, Apps, you can connect apps. So this was something that was new as we started getting into APIs, MCPs. The MCP, which we're not going to go into now, was basically this new, think of it as like they built a highway that allowed two softwares, the language model, the AI, and then the stuff that we're used to, Canva, Adobe, like All Trails, Booking.com, Expedia, Instacart, Safeway, all the stuff that you could possibly think of now have this connecting point. And so that's where you see like Chat Lovable, Target. So people are actually using Chat GPT now to like shop, and not just Chat GPT. That is the new wave. You're a service-based business owner or a brick and mortar. Guess what? People are buying things on ChatGPT, and it's getting to the point where we're getting able to create the permissions on the back end to actually let AI buy things for us. Now that's where it gets a little scary, so just be mindful. And then you have deep research. Okay, so deep research has been here all along, but they have like its own little thing. And then Codex. Now, Codex is a completely separate entity, and I don't want you to worry too much about Codex. I'm going to show you some other stuff, but it's basically how to build things out using code. Now, all these things here under GPTs, these are all considered those custom GPTs. Now, if you go here to explore GPTs, it'll take you to the store, and every single GPT that you could think of has probably been out there. It's created by somebody. These are all created by other people. Just be mindful. Now, the one thing with custom GPTs is that the people who create them cannot see your chats. They can't see who you are. They can only see how many people have used them, but they are not allowed to see the inside of your chats, what you're asking, how many times you're using it, or anything like that. You can leave reviews, but the majority of the time that's not it. My GPTs are here. I've created more than 175 custom GPTs. Think of these as the employees. I have one that's specific for high level. I have one to help me create all of my branded t-shirts and stuff for my online store. I have one to support me in my spouses group that I'm part of because we're in a new unit. I have one to help me create short form videos. I have one specifically for helping me launch something on Black Friday. I have one for helping me create Sora videos, which I can now delete, or I can now take this base prompt and customize it so that I can then make like YouTube shorts. I have one for my stand up paddleboard instructors who need help with their marketing. I got all kinds of stuff, you guys. It's all there. So this is how you come here to create. Now, you can come here and just use AI to create a custom GPT. You just start typing, tell it what kind of employee you want, and it will help configure. It will guide you through the process. That is for like somebody who's really new who just wants to try it out. The ones who know how to really create a really powerful custom GPT would always use configure, and it takes you through the steps here, but you really need to have a framework for the best way to give it instructions essentially. And those are the ways that you can make your own. So have at it if you want to stay with ChatGPT. And then you have all of your chats. Now, in between chats and your actual GPTs, you have these things called projects. Projects allow you to kind of condense multiple conversations in one folder so that the AI doesn't get distracted with all the other things that you've been talking about and only focuses on the instructions, the stuff that you've given it and the conversations that you've had for that one like specific thing. Okay, so I have ones for like my clients, I have ones for just my podcast, I have ones just for my YouTube, and that's basically how I use it. Now your settings, this is where you really need to go in here and make sure that you can change the system appearance, you can change the language, the notifications. Personalizations is something that you definitely want to go into. Tell it how you speak, things about you. um, I like it to call me gorgeous. Occupation, more about you. You can manage the memory. And then you can go into more advanced stuff. The main thing I want to point out is that you should 1000% have a two authentication factor. Um, on your phone at minimum. Push notifications if you want to send it to your phone. They've added this test message thing so that you can make sure that you're not allowing other people. There's hackers out there who are trying to get into your stuff, and if you don't think that you're like important enough to do it, you are. If you have teens and stuff, they do have parental controls. If you want to give like your kids their own, they can use yours, but you want to give them like their own section so that it's like like anything else. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, orders, that is because you can go in here and allow ChatGPT to basically order stuff for you. Give it the opportunity to do it. Schedule is tasks, so you can actually give ChatGPT tasks that you want it to do, um, and all of that jazz. Okay, so that's ChatGPT in a nutshell. Again, I dropped this. Uh, we're pretty much here. Not here. We went through that. We talked about what to put in there, and we're talking about the things that it can do, kind of right here. Um, Write your captions. We're going to talk about a lot of this, but these are the main things that I use not ChatGPT, OpenAI for. Writing my captions, repurposing my content, drafting my emails, answering my frequently asked questions, and helping me think through decisions, not deciding for me. Okay. We're going to move on to Gemini. So this is Gemini, and it looks a little the same, I would say. Things are different because you see here, this is kind of your Google. Now I have Pro because I have Google Workspace, but it still has the same kind of settings here. Now, because it's Google's language model, which is Gemini, it has access to a lot of stuff. It has it has access when you push the plus to bring stuff in from your Google Drive. Now you can set up those things on the back end for um, ChatGPT too, but just so you know, Notebook LM is a Google um, software. It's really cool. We're not going to talk about it today, but if you don't know, like, we need to talk. Like, I'm going to do a special training just on that. You can see same thing. You can see my chats. Now, gems here, gems are basically um same thing, like custom GPTs. I did a workshop for military spouses and I showed them how to create this one specific one. When you click into it, I can come in to edit it, and then I basically can tell it these are the instructions. I gave it its role. I gave it its job. There's a specific framework that you should basically follow, but this was specific for military. So I needed to make sure to be sensitive around OPSEC stuff because of the fact that we were military spouses. And those of you who are military spouses know what the heck that means. Now, in GEMS Manager, there are things that you can have. Kind of think of them like recipes. You can create one that's a recipe genie. You can create one that's a marketing maven. If you struggle with learning how to turn like your ideas into marketing content, you can totally remix this and customize it to yourself. They have one for learning YouTube. You can have it show more, a business profile, all kinds of stuff, a co-thinker, creating a playlist, a Google Calendar link, all kinds of stuff, okay? You can also do other stuff that's pre-made by Google. You can create a storybook. Now, this is their gem, meaning that they're allowing you to use that custom GP or that custom employee. This one's specific at creating a storybook. This one's specific at brainstorming. This is a career guy, a coding partner if you want to start creating codes and stuff. It's all here. You can see all the other ones that you can create with this person with Google. So these are all ones that have been pre-made by Google, so 1000% can vouch them. And then you just use it as your base, a sales pitch, ideator, a learning coach, an outreach specialist, productivity planner. Like the sky is the limit. Literally, if you can imagine it, AI can 100% do it. I'm going to go over just a few more minutes because I can already tell I'm over time, but I kind of jumped on a little late, so we're still okay. So Claude. Claude looks pretty much almost the same, I would say, but when you open up the sidebar, it's a little bit more. You can strategize right with it from your DMs, but there's so much more. Now, their stuff has the same thing. Projects where you can start multiple conversations and just focus on one thing. It doesn't have skills the way we would think it. And the reason is because um, Claude focuses on the way it's built skills. It kind of was like, to me, the founder of these skill files, and all the other language models are basically catching up at this point to use them to really power their agents. And so when you give it a skill, I look at skills like giving Claude superpowers. And every single time that you give it a superpower, it's essentially like you're powering it up. And as you start to give it more skills, when you start having conversations with it, it automatically will start scanning its superpowers to see which superpower it needs to basically help you out in your request. And that's how it works. It's incredibly cool. Now, the cool thing is that once you have Claude set up, you can literally go backspace. You can type in skills. It'll say skills creator, and then you can just start typing what skill you would need it to help you create. It's built in a skill creator. Now, the cool thing is that I use the same function that I used in my chat GPTs for my custom GPTs, and the same framework I use in Claude basically to like maximize it. Now, it can still work the same, but again, if you're working with a framework, a knowledge base, um, a, a really specific way of outlining exactly what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do it, the steps that you wanted to do, it is like 1000% mind blowing what it's going to be able to do for you. It can also code for you. And the cool thing with Claude is that it has now what's called co-work. And with co-work, it's basically a separate software that you actually download onto your computer. So it lives on your computer, not on the web. And with co-work is like an agent that's agentic, meaning that it can think and make decisions on its own. And if you give it permission, it will do stuff for you on its own without asking you. Now, for some people, that's like, ooh, now that is scary. And I realize that, but there's something called Clawbot. I think it's called Clawbot now. I'm like, oh, it's too late for me to be thinking about it now. Mm, and it is real agentic, meaning you download it and it like people were having like, I just got like, what's going on? Is everything okay? I just saw like a $4,200 charge on my credit card, and they're like, define. Okay. After our conversation last night, I saw that you were struggling with productivity and accountability, and I watched this YouTube video and I bought you this course. It's, guarantees an ROI as long as you implement it. You 1000% got this. And it's like, wait, what? He's like, oh, and I also bought you this custom domain for like $1,600 because statistics show that a custom domain will increase your value of your business and, your opt-ins or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, what? So Claude Cowork is a version of that, but it is much safer. And I've been playing with it and it is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I've been struggling to try to be consistent with keeping up with AI. Now, I've been able to do it, but translating that for you guys and giving you like a breakdown of like, there's so much out there. Let me condense it. And these are the things that you really need to be worried about. Not worried about, but just be aware of. Or what do you need to know of? There's this new feature in this language model, and this is how you use it. Or this is why you would want to like learn more about it kind of situation. And I was trying to do it live, but my life isn't working in that standpoint. So I was like, I should do a newsletter. And so I literally know my process of how I was doing those YouTube lives and how I was planning it out. I had a whole system for it. And I basically taught Claude my system. And now we have our own system where I basically have it like first thing in the week. It runs through all of the RSS feeds of all the ones that I personally like look at myself that I was manually doing, and then it gives me a brief, and then it templates it out into a Notion. And then I go in there and look at what it's giving me, and then it leaves placeholders for me to give my reactions to the news, which ones that I would like to focus on if there's a bunch of them. Any new news that comes out throughout the week that catches my eye that I really want to talk about that maybe it didn't pull in its brief. Links to upcoming trainings that I might be in, links to lives that I might decide that I want to do, opportunities for people to follow me somewhere, guest speaking engagements that I might be part of, personal moments so that you guys know that I'm not sitting here on my computer all day long every day and that I'm out there like living my life and the cool things that I'm doing just to kind of bring you on my entrepreneurial journey and my life. To again help humanize the AI, bring myself into it. I have it created this daily journal where I voice memo 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day. It transcribes it, and then on Thursdays, it literally goes through all of that again, all my notes, goes through the transcripts of my daily diaries for the week, and then it helps organize it in the format that I've already templated out using Canva so that I gave it the HTML. This is how I want it structured. And there's like, I got you. And then it just gives me a final proof that I then go through, review, tweak, and then I send it out to you guys. What? Now that sounds like a lot, but think about what I'm actually doing. I really am not doing anything other than just documenting things that I want to come out. I'm doing that from my phone while I'm out there living my life. And then the only time that I have to really sit down is maybe an hour to sit there and really make sure and go through every sentence and double check that everything is exactly how I want it, that the links are going to where they need to be, and that it's not missing anything. And that's just because we're just learning how to work with each other. Once we do this enough and it really learns my preferences, I will be able to just have it do it on command. And I think it's only going to take about 3 to 4 weeks for that to happen. And that's the possibility of what's out there, you guys. It can 1000% connect to your Notion. If you use Monday boards, it can do that. There's certain things it doesn't have ability to, but I vibe code on base 44. I love me some base 44 for my apps is mainly what I use it for. People use it for all kinds of stuff. You create dashboards. I created interactive workbooks, quizzes, lead magnets, all kinds of stuff. Now you can actually use Claude and connect it to your base 44 and have Claude help you talk to base 44, which is just another language model, so that your communication is solid. You're using less tokens. It's less time for you to translate what you're trying to say because Claude already understands you because you've trained it. Do you guys see? So I'm going to just show you a quick thing so that if you are on the ChatGPT bus, and I've basically encouraged you to maybe consider Claude, which I hope I have. When you come here, the bottom corner, that's your like little bubble. You come up here to settings. when you come to settings, you go to capabilities, and um, here it says memory, sorry, not memory, import memory from other AI providers. You're going to start the import, and it literally is just copying this prompt, going to, let's just say, my chat GPT. Now, I've already done this, but you just start a new chat, you literally just copy and paste, and you let it go. And then it'll give you back like this big long thing. It's going to be a little bit, especially if you like me. I have had over like, I don't know, some 30,000, like 30, I don't know, I think like 3,000 chats or conversations. Um, but it's going to go through all this stuff, and you're basically going to come back, paste it in there, add it to the memory. It's going to acknowledge it. And then you can just start a chat and ask it questions about, like, I just integrated my memory from ChatGPT to you, kind of summarize, and it'll even give you a prompt that you can like start the conversation just to make sure that it worked. And you can use that for every other language model that you've used. Gemini, Manus AI. Like, let's just say you're like, I'm going to leave all of these because I can't really afford every single one of this, and I just want to focus and go all in on Claude. Then you just do the same thing, and then that way you're not starting from scratch. So that's the easiest way. There is another way, and this is something that I encourage you guys to do if you're really going to like leave ChatGPT. Even if it's just to stop paying for it and you're still going to like keep the profile for just personal usage, that's fine, and just be on the free plan. You'll go here to settings, and you'll go to data controls, and all the way at the bottom there's export. You'll export it, and it'll basically, sometime, for me it took like literally like almost 24 hours. Know that it's going to email you with a link, and it's going to be a zip file, and then I will be doing a separate training on how to basically bring on all your stuff over so that you really can customize your stuff. The last one that I'm going to go over is Magi. Now, Magi, like I said, is my like main one that I would recommend to anybody. This is what it looks like. They have a free academy. Literally, it's not, they don't have a free subscription, so you have to pay for Magi. But you can join their Facebook group. Dustin's in there all the time. He's the founder and developer. You can join the academy. There's like, they teach so much in there. You can either start a new chat or you can create an image. When you start a new chat, this is what I want to like be mind blown right now, you guys. Okay. It doesn't work like all the other language models because it is like buku crazy what it can do. So see here, I have the option to choose the language model. Okay. Now it gave me Laura because that's the one I use the most. So LLM, it's which AI do you want to use? They have all the Claudes, all the DeepSeek, all the Geminis. Now all of these just mean certain things. Some people use them for separate stuff. We're going to go over all that stuff in a different training. All the GPTs, if you still want to use OpenAI, but you don't want to pay for it. All the Groks, all the Llamas, all like these new ones that are coming out. Minimax, I don't even know what that is. Mimo, I don't even know what that is. Mistral, Novalite. Again, these are all OpenAIs. Perplexity. They're all here. But in addition to, you also get all the image and video models. So you get Flux, you get GPT's image generator, ideogram, which is amazing because I subscribed to this not knowing that I already had it in here. Anacani, I'm about to go cancel that subscription. Kling, Leonardo, Laura, which is how I use my create my AI twin. Nano Banana, that's for Gemini. So if you have the free version of Gemini, you lose your you run out of your tokens to create images, and you need to create a new one, you can just come here and like do it again. Runway, Seed Dance, Sora's going away, and then Bio. Bio's like a big one. That's the one that's like pretty cinematic and cool. But this assistant, these are are called personas. This is the same thing like a skill or a custom GPT. They're specific personas that are specialized in a specific thing. I have one for each of my brands. I have one that's like a buying persona, so it acts as my ICP. There's a historian. They have ones that Magi creates for you. There's ones that people create for you. So you just, be mindful. Like this one was created by Magi. It's a YouTube expert. It helps you with ideas, titles, descriptions. You can like star them so that you can get them and make sure they stay to the top. A prompt generator, a business advisor, all of it's here. Obviously, I would, as a beginner, only look for the ones that are created by Magi. There are other people that can create it, but just be careful, because there's some people that are not like nice, they're not being um um human when it comes to AI, and they're doing using it for bad shit. Um so all this stuff is here. Magi is creating all kinds of new agents basically all the time. And they're doing tutorials. Their Facebook group is full of prompts and everything. And so you can create a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you. Just know it looks like a vanity metrics, but it's because this is how I create a lot of my stuff. I have my client stuff. I have some of these, which I was using to get great t-shirt ideas. You might recognize some of these images. Now, it's not always like perfect, but let me tell you, it's getting really good. Now, it looks like this. Some of them I have to remind it, I am not 20 anymore. I am 45. So you can see, but I started to not care. Like here, it made me into a man. I was like, what is going on? This one, I was like, dude, I look like my daddy. That's funny. But then I started to stop caring about what it looked like. And I only wanted to see what the t-shirts look like because I'm 1000% going to make these into my shop. I thought this is funny. It put my face on it. But all of these are like, that one was weird. I was like, what am I doing? I got 3 arms. So, AI is still working, but I wanted to be like, oh man, I haven't been to Mexico in a minute. And I looked at this one, you guys. I was like, I look like my auntie. Like, wow. Well, that's like very much me, crow's feet and everything. So just know that sky's the limit. Like, I can just mock up something super quick, make sure that it's branded. There I am with my scar. And this is just the beginning. So, this is Magi. Again, it is about the same amount of money. They do not have a free thing. So, just understand that part about it. But you can save prompts. So if there's a prompt that you use that you really, really like, you can start creating and saving those prompts so that you save time in your effort and you're not having to repeat yourself over and over. You can create quick actions. And again, their support on the back end is crazy, crazy amazing. Again, I left my affiliate link for Magi in the chat. I would vouch for it even if I didn't have an affiliate link. But it's not like I'm making, a ton of money. It's like what, $4 or something. You're basically buying me a cup of coffee. Just gonna make sure nobody is sitting outside. How would I know? How would I know? How would I know? I think it tells me right up at the top. I think I'm all caught up. So, anyways, so that's pretty much it for today. I have a special surprise for ya, for everybody who's here. Even if you're watching this on the replay, you're good. So, I know that was a lot and I kind of went really fast. However, oh, and I'm really over. Is that really? We'll see. Um, I decided that I'm going to start what I'm calling the AI Edge series. And it's basically, I'm starting with season 1, which is 6 masterclasses. The way it's going to work is that just like this, what you've experienced, except a little bit more in depth into one specific thing. Okay. Like just talking about Claude, we're not talking about no one else, and we're going through all the things together step by step. Or Canva AI, because you guys use Canva, and I realized that not a lot of people even know about the AI features in Canva, which is mind blowing. I was using Canva to vibe code like, years ago, before it became a mainstream thing with these bigger platforms, I was creating like apps and stuff in Canva before it was like a big thing. So a lot of people are like, I didn't even know you could do that. I was like, yes. Canva is my BFF. And if you use it, it's like $12. And it is a very basic beginner. If all this other stuff is a little bit too overwhelming, there's ways you can even just use Canva because you're already paying for it. You might as well maximize it. You can 1000% bring your brand voice, customize it and everything. But I can't, I need a dedicated time for that. So I created this AI Age series, and essentially it's this. You got a taste of it now. If this was like, this was amazing. Now, today was overwhelming. I just wanted you to really sit with your possibility scarf on, doodle in your workbook that I created for you, and just listen. Keep an open mind, come back to this and watch the replay, and just know these are the ones that I'm focusing on and why I'm moving away from ChatGPT. Um, but for a lot of people, you're going to be in three boats, one of the three. You're either going to be game, your brain works like mine, you're going to be able to watch me and implement at the same time. Good for you. Virtual high five. There's going to be some that are going to be completely overwhelmed trying to do that, and they're just going to be able to watch and take their notes, and that's going to be the extent of it, and they're going to have to come back and watch the replay. They might not even take the notes. They're just going to watch and be like holding a crystal and like rubbing it while they get, trying not to get anxiety. And then there's going to be the ones that are not going to be able to do any of it. And they just want to like look at a piece of paper and, kind of not get overwhelmed and just like follow an instruction step by step, one step at a time. These AI masterclasses are there to be there for every one of those. If you decide that I could totally keep up with this is my jam, I like the way she teach, like let's do this. And but you kind of need that person that can just kind of break it down step by step. You can 1000% just, go for that. High five to you. I want to support you. Come into my Facebook. You can watch it live. Now, the problem, it's not the problem, but just, fair warning. Once the live's done, it's going to not be in the Facebook group. Like you get to watch it live. And if you're there live, awesome. But there is no replays and it's not going to be kept in the Facebook group. There's a AI Edge Pass that you can purchase if you're like, I need all of the things. I need the replay, I want the prompt book, and I want the workbook. I want the step by step instructions so that I can just either enjoy and watch and like let it process through my brain and then I'll come back to it, or I can print all my stuff and follow along. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's 17 bucks. If you want all the extra stuff and you need access to the replay so that you can watch it on slow-mo or stop and go, that's up to you. You can watch it for free in the Facebook group live when I go live. 2 p.m. Sundays are all the trainings. And there's a set schedule. We're skipping next week because it's Easter. So we're picking up right after that week. If you decide I'm just gonna try to like keep up live and I'm not gonna purchase it, 1000% okay. There is no pressure here. I'm trying to meet you where you are. Just know that once the masterclass is over and the live, I push end live, those classes will be $27, but they'll be in my shop. You can come to them, get them whenever. Now, if you're like, I want all of it, let me just, because there's going to be 6 series. There's a package. You get all 6 of them for 97 bucks. It's kind of a no-brainer. You're going to get all the replays, all the workbooks. I'm going to add maybe some additional smaller trainings. There'll be special Q&As where you can come through after certain workshops where I know there's going to be a lot of questions where it's just asking me questions. You also get to be inside the room. So I'll be having a Zoom Zoom kind of streaming and recording in the background. You actually get to be in that one. I won't be necessarily paying attention to the chat in the Facebook group. I'm going to be listening to the people in the room asking questions in real time. So if you want to be in the room to ask me questions and get me to slow down during the trainings, then that's what that pass gets you. For those of you who have stayed and watched, you get a little special surprise. Um, so I took notes for you. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. Uh, Let me drop it in now while I'm talking. And so these are kind of your cliff notes. If you were like, dude, that was so much, and kind of, I like barely was taking any notes. This Google Doc will basically give you all the notes that you essentially need. What we covered today, all the tools, what it's best for. Skip it if you already have this. The links. It is about $27. Try not to necessarily make a copy of it because I might come in here and add some more stuff to it. If you want to make your own notes to it, then yes, you're going to need to make a copy of it. But if you want to be up to date with mine, then that's what it is. So it has all the ones that we talked about. It basically talks about like the custom GPTs and what they're called for the different language models. This is a little bit more in depth than what I've already like talked to you about. Activating your skills in Claude, prompts that you can use today. So I gave you the actual prompt to the fridge. Here are my photos of my fridge, freezer, pantry. I need help planning a quick meal for tonight using only what I already have, my family situation. And then I gave you the space to fill it in with like some examples of how you would fill it in. Um, what matters to me, and then like I gave you some examples. It needs to be ready in 30 minutes, or it needs to be kid friendly, or it needs to be warm and filling, like whatever it is. I gave you as much as I could so that you're not looking at like a blank screen or like I don't know what I'm supposed to put here. Please give me one, your top meal suggestions using what I have. Number two, step-by-step instructions. So see, it's also to show you how specific you need to kind of be. You don't have to, but the more you start to learn how to talk this way, the better your responses are going to be in the future. I gave you a prompt for content for your business. Um, you're a copywriter for your business, blah, 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 blah. Now, the one thing that I will tell you is that I forgot to mention this. So, one thing that I learned in the AI Summit that I was part of this week was this amazing, amazing thing that you can totally do. I left you the link here. It's in this pro tip. I'm going to highlight this in like my teal. Or should I highlight? Yeah, I'll just highlight it in teal. Maybe I'll do the whole thing in teal so you guys know this one's special. Oh, I'll highlight it in yellow. Will that work for you guys? Like that. This pro tip. Hopefully you guys can see. Yeah. So click on here, take this free personality test. Literally takes like 10 minutes, and it's going to give you a 4-letter code. You're literally going to use this code in every single thing that you use in your language model. So if you don't have a brand voice guide, you haven't been through my alchemized content method where I take you step by step in creating your brand voice details, you could literally just do this, include that, just like my personality is, and then give it your code inside this. Does not matter where it is, just that pretext will improve your copy 100% because it's going to know everything it needs to know about that personality type, and it is going to write like you, and you're going to be mind blown. Try to do it without, and then start a new chat, and then use it with your 4-letter code that it gives you from the personality test, and you are going to be mind blown. That is um your, like, if anything else, if you're like, I didn't get a lot, this was super overwhelming, that should be your golden nugget for today. Take the 16 personalities test. It's literally 10 minutes. If you can't afford 10 minutes for your business, I don't know what to tell you. Get that 4-letter code. Use this base prompt for the business contact prompt, and then see how much better your stuff is. I gave you all the links that you need here. I gave you the stuff for my business if you need any of it. And then I gave you a list of all the classes in the masterclass series. So AI 101, That's where we're at today. April 12th, Claude 101. We're going to be mastering Claude for beginners. April 20th, Claude AI and vibe coding. May 4th, how to migrate basically from ChatGPT to Claude without using yourself. And we're going to be going over skills on that one. May 18th, Claude co-work. So if you're like, I really want to learn how to actually get an agent and get Claude to work independently and have tasks and stuff for me, we're going to go over that on the 18th. The June 1st is the brain dump method. That's like my favorite method of how I basically create like 7 weeks of content in pretty much like 10 minutes. And then my lunar content flow, which is like a more advanced flow if you really struggle with like you have all these content, you know, marketing things that they give you, and it gives you like months and months, thousands of like content ideas and whatever, and then you get stuck in analysis paralysis because you're like, I don't like, this is now too much and I don't know which one to pick, and then you just don't post anything. It prevents you from doing that. Again, the pass for each individual one is $17. If you want all of these classes, all the replays, all the prompt books, all the things, it'll be $97 for all 6 of them. And you can click on there. The first one's already there for April the 12th if you just want to do one, or if you want to get the whole bundle. I'm still billing this out. But this is a sample of what the notes are going to look like. So if you're like, I'm not a good note taker, but I need notes for my life because I need to be better organized, I got you. If you're one of those who, like me, likes things where like it's visual like this, and I like coloring, that's how I learn. I like being able to write my own notes. This had stuff that like how to use AI without losing your voice. Things that I didn't really cover today, but are pretty self-explanatory. You speak, then AI or Claude refines it, and then you edit it last. You're the author, AI is the editor, you are the brand, okay? Um, something that surprised me. Like I even asked you these reflective questions and I gave you a space, and you could have doodled while you listened to me or watched me, or you can do that tonight. And then I gave you kind of this, try to rhythm, start practicing. Guess what? AI is a muscle just like anything else. And then a little 7-day challenge with, little basic prompts. I gave them all to you right here. And then I gave you a little clue into all the stuff that's happening next. There's a little bit about me and another coloring page. So I'm going to be doing one of those for every single one of these classes. And again, um, I hope that's good. I'm going to just double check to make sure nobody has any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube and are like, I want that coloring book, I want that Cliff Notes guide, come to my Facebook group. The link is in the bottom of the description of this YouTube video. I am happy to let you in. Hopefully, be respectful and listen to the rules. But yeah, this is a safe space. And if you have any questions throughout the week about this, the actual like Edge Pass, again, you can a la carte. This gives you a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. And then it talks to you a little bit more about each of the classes. Um, they're pretty much Sundays, 2 p.m. This lets you know after May 3rd, the bundle, the $97 for all 6, it's going to be expired. And then from there, it's just going to be something you can get for just, each one $17. They'll be going up $27 if you don't get the early bird, meaning that you try to purchase it just to get the replay. Like you attended live and you're like, oh shit, this was a lot of value and I need the replay. Then you can buy it for $27 after the fact. Okay. But I try to make it no like brainer. Again, if you don't know who I am, why you should listen to me, that's there again. And it's pretty straightforward. Okay. So I will drop this in there. I think it's already in there, but just in case you guys are like, what is that? There it is again. I hope that this was helpful, that you got some stuff. I know that I gave you a lot. That's why I wanted to surprise you, but I didn't want you to get distracted and not listen. And that's why I gave you this at the end. So this is in the Facebook group under the comments under this live. And that is all I got. I'm going to go take care of my little. My husband looks like he's home. So yeah. Um as always, continue to be you. Continue to be beautiful. Continue leading from your heart. And I will catch you in the next video. Have a great week.